chasing, shine bright deep inside you. When will you ever let it shine from within and cast all of your fears aside? You'll see the light until that day comes.
Hello, welcome back to Kingdom Reviews. I'm your host, Future Keybearer. It's a pirate's life for me as we journey to Port Royal. Upon arrival, our heroes get a good look at their surroundings.
Wow!
This place is
kinda different.
It's live action and PG-13! Anyway, our heroes notice a disturbance in the town and go to check it out. Meanwhile, Pete is having a little chat with the pirate Captain Barbossa.
Really? 'Cause you look like regular pirates to me.
But in the moonlight.
Yes, in the impeccably timed moonlight.
Whoa! Now I get what you were saying.
I guess time in the underworld has desensitized him to this kind of horror.
Well, if you see two doofuses and a brat holding a keyblade, steer clear. They got a kind of magic that don't belong in this world, see? And nobody knows what it'll do to you, especially when the moon's showing what you really are.
And you know this how?
See there? I knew it. Those are the punks I was telling you about.
Who are you calling punks? It's Sora, Donald, and Goofy to you, and don't you forget it.
At this rate, I'll forget that and a whole lot more before this game is done. So Barbossa sends half his men into town while the other half fight our heroes.
Aw, we only get to stomp on a few of you?
To quote the first game, Sora, don't ever change. So yeah, you fight against the pirates, but your attacks don't do anything. That is, until the moon comes out, in which case not only are they vulnerable, but your spells leave status effects. The whole moonlight thing is a cool idea, but the problem is, not only can they not be hurt in the shadows, they pretty much can't be touched. And because it feels like the AI knows that, it can be very difficult and annoying to get them out to where you can hurt them. After quite brutally dispatching the pirates, Pete runs off and our heroes follow the other pirates into town. Shortly after, they run into a young Will Turner being attacked by the Heartless. Once our heroes dispatch the enemies, Will tells them that the pirates have kidnapped his acquaintance, Elizabeth Swan, and they offer to help rescue her. However, they're too late and the pirates have already set sail. Fortunately though, another certain pirate happens to be right there.
Captain Jack Sparrow, if you please.
Oh, James Arnold Taylor, I love you, you're clearly doing your best, but this is not a role for you.
Take me with you. Help me hunt down the Black Pearl and save Miss Swan. I got you out of that jail cell, Sparrow.
Why? In the movie, it was because Will knew he needed Jack's help to save Elizabeth. Otherwise, Will would have gladly let Jack rot in prison. It wouldn't have been hard to do the scene like that. Hell, you could have it go like this. And now they've sailed, and I'll never be able to find her. Gorge, if only we knew where they were headed. There might be someone who does. A pirate I helped put in jail earlier today. Then they go to the prison cell, make the deal with Jack, Sora uses the Keyblade to get him out, which sets up a much later scene, and you don't sacrifice continuity. So because Jack feels he owes Will nothing, Will gives him another reason to help them.
Are you sure you can sail her? All on your own?
Got you there.
I'm Sora. This is Donald and Goofy.
Damn it, the rum is gone!
Sora?
You really want to be a pirate?
Of course not.
Yeah, for some reason, Sora really wants to be a pirate here. Now, don't get me wrong, it's believable that was always a childhood fantasy of his, but he's dealt with real pirates before! As we get ready to make way, we see Barbossa explain the curse of the Aztec gold to Elizabeth. This scene isn't nearly as intense as it is in the film, but at least they didn't skimp on the wine effect here. Jack leads our heroes to the Isla de Muerta, subtle, and takes Will inside, leaving Sora, Donald, and Goofy to guard the ship. I'm torn on this decision because they would be very helpful against Barbossa, but then again, guarding the ship is an important task. Realizing that they might be up against the Heartless, our trio pursue, but don't get too far before Will and Elizabeth come running. Now you have to keep the pirates at bay for 1 minute while Will and Elizabeth get the ship ready to sail. Once returning to the ship, Sora notices that Jack is missing, and Will tells him about how he knocked Jack out and ran off with Elizabeth. You know, as I say that sentence, it sounds like a dick move for different reasons than it actually is. Regardless, our heroes retreat, but Barbossa isn't too far behind. So you have to take them on in a sort of ship battle. The goal here is to defeat the pirates that come forward while keeping the cursed medallion thereafter safe. Afterwards, Barbossa tries to get Sora to hand over the medallion by threatening Jack and Elizabeth, but Will won't hear of it.
Go ahead, boy, shoot. We can't die.
You can't. But I can.
Interesting note, in the Japanese version, Will actually holds the gun to his face like he does in the movie, but it was censored for the English release. Why? I don't know. Maybe Japanese kids are more hardcore. This plan seems to work until Pete and the Heartless get involved. They tie our heroes up below deck and rig the ship to explode. Fortunately, Jack manages to free everyone, and we have to get rid of the gunpowder kegs that pepper the ship. This is nothing more than a mild distraction. Afterwards, they return to the Isla de Muerta to end things with Barbossa.
Not possible.
Not probable. We were young and we're pirates.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Sora!
Double duck.
Goofy, too.
Since when do pirates do Power Rangers-esque roll call? So our heroes dispatch the pirates, off camera, okay, and Jack deals with Barbossa.
Jack! Get him! Jack!
You know, in any other world, that probably would have helped. Another interesting censoring here. In the Japanese, Jack has the sword sticking out of his chest like he does in the movie. However, I will give this one some leeway as it does fix a slight problem. No matter which version you're looking at, Barbossa has his sword in its sheath. Anyway, Barbossa calls Pete for help. And isn't that a weird concept? And he summons the Heartless to help in the fight. In this fight, the Heartless keeps the arena dark, so you need to defeat it in order to make Barbossa vulnerable. Honestly, despite him not having a lot of insane powers, this fight is one of the more fun ones in the game. Actually, maybe the fact that it's one of the more simple fights is why it's more fun. Sure, there are still some over-the-top reaction commands, but they're not too over-the-top, and they still look awesome. The only problem is, despite being cursed as well, Jack doesn't get the same benefit of being invulnerable in the shadows. Not only that, if he runs out of HP, you lose. Okay, I get that we need Jack in the party for story purposes, but it's for those same story purposes that Jack shouldn't be able to die! After the fight, Jack and Will break the curse and Barbossa lies dead on the ground. You know, despite the fact that this isn't the first time that a villain has died in this series, there's something so morbid about just seeing the body laying there. As Will and Elizabeth are reunited, Sora presumably starts thinking about Kairi, which Donald and Goofy call him out on. As friends do. And finally, Jack's compass reveals the keyhole. So that was Port Royal. I freaking love this world! I know most people give it crap for being so tonally different from the rest of the worlds in the game, but that's not an issue for me. I love Curse of the Black Pearl, and this world does everything that I love this series for. Teaming up with some of my favorite characters to fight the enemies of the film, the grunts and the boss. Some interesting things more unique to this world, i.e. ship battles, and all set to the amazing score from the film. It has its annoying parts here and there, and the censorships of the English version are unnecessary in my opinion, but I always have a blast with it. Well, that's it for this episode. Tune in next time as it's another Arabian Night.